बच्चों से बने बनाए नूडल्स सिंक में फेंकवाना महापाप है। जिसको फूलना है वो बिना मैदे के भी फूल जाता है।
अगर आपको कुछ चाहिए तो देने वाले से तब मांगो जब वो खुश हो। लोहा गरम है, मार दो बता।
लग जाएगी।
ऋषि मुझे पढ़ाई करनी है, मैंने तुझे बोला जा। ऋषि
You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. A quote by C.S. Lewis. Hello everyone and welcome to the Limitless Edition. This season is filled with amazing conversations with outstanding children and young adults who have defined human limits of potential and have broken barriers to achieve unfathomable heights of success. I'm your host, Kya Hatkar, also a young achiever, a national and global best-selling young author, a global disability and inclusion advocate, and 2025's Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar awardee. Today we have with us Angad Raj, who's made a remarkable impact in the Indian film and television industry. He's gained recognition for his roles in movies and series like Ye Meri Family, Ram Setu, Fukre 3, and Sher Khan. Welcome to the show, Angad. I'm so excited to get started. So let's begin by getting to know you and what you do.
So hi there, my name is Angad Raj and I'm 11 years old. I'll tell you some of my hobbies. I really like to play squash and I've just recently started tennis and I'm really fond of that. I like eating, I like swimming, I like listening to music and acting. These are my hobbies and I'm very interactive. Not getting full of myself, but I really like to talk.
I can make that out. Like before we even started the recording, you seemed chirpy enough. So yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask, what inspired you to step into the world of acting like at such a young age, and who were your role models in this industry?
So respectfully, this was like me being an actor was not planned at all. I was just a casual 6-year-old kid sitting at a cafe, chilling, eating pizza, with their parents. Nothing was planned. I'm telling it from my mother's point of view. When we were sitting at the cafe, she saw these two people wearing black hoodies and she got scared. Are they kidnappers? What are they doing? But then they came up to us and they asked us that, hey, we really like your son's look. And we're casting for a movie called Lal Singh Chadda and we would like to audition him. So actually we didn't even know an industry like this existed. And if my parents didn't know, how would I know? Because I was just a small kid. So we did the audition for that. And we didn't get that, but they passed my photo and my mother's phone number in the circle. So since then, people have been contacting us for work, ad, movie, serial, web series. So that's how it started. And I didn't have any role models because I was so small. I had no idea.
That is...
It's different.
Yeah, I know. Like, you're not planning something and then suddenly some people there come up to you and they ask that we are casting this person and we would want you to be a part of it. It's insane. Like, who would think of that? Moving to the series that you did, Ye Meri Family. So you portrayed Rishi Awasthi across multiple seasons. How has the character evolved and how was playing him influenced your life professionally and personally?
पैतरा नंबर 17, राजा बेटा रानी बेटी.
दुनिया में इकलौती है, क्या बोलूं मैं कैसी है जो मेरी फैमिली है. एक छोटी सी कश्ती जो तूफानों से नहीं डरती है, दुश्मन दुनिया से डरती है, ऐसी है जो मेरी फैमिली है.
अगर मुझे मुंह ना खोले तो जेलर को बुला. मेरा सर लगा के तुम्हें भी अक्कल आ जाएगी. मैं मस्ती गधा हूँ.
कहाँ लिखा है?
So see, how it affected my life was that he was very understanding, you know. He just understood. If you told him something, he was very understanding. He would understand it and he would think about it. And I'll be really honest, Rishi is basically a copy paste of me, genuinely. He's literally a copy paste of me. Other than being Shararti and those questionable pranks, I think other than those, we both are basically similar.
It's amazing. And you have seen, a few of your shots and, clips from Ye Meri Family. And I could make that it was you actually in that movie. So it's amazing. And I do want all of our listeners to go check out that season if they have not already. And since, all of us have summer break going on, just binge watch the series.
I want to say something. I feel so proud about that show. I'm just casually sitting on my chair in the bed, scrolling through YouTube shorts, and then I suddenly come by this video of me, of a clip someone removed from the show and edited it, putting music and all of where I pranked Ritika or Hetal Didi. So I just feel really proud. Promotions for season 3 of Ye Meri Family. I had met a very big creator called Saurav Joshi. He's a daily vlogger, and the listeners must have already heard of him. I think even you have heard of him. So I was watching his vlog after we met, obviously. He had gone to buy a new TV, and this is the vlog where Kunali, the small one, broke the TV. So he was at the place where I think it was Chroma. They were showing him the TVs. He was seeing the TV that they bought, and he just pulled up an ad of me. So he was just going through YouTube and he saw my ad. I think it was Vim. Yeah, the ad was Vim. And he said, "Dekho guys, Angad ka ad aa gaya." I just felt so proud and I was so happy. We messaged him actually. Arey wah.
Since you brought up, ad, that brings me to my next question. Out of over 100 ads you did, you appeared in like so many of them, and I'm pretty sure listeners would have seen them. I have seen them. So, is there any ad that stands out particularly, like as something memorable or something that has impacted you and the audience?
Vim ad, one of my friends, they went to Kumbh Mela. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. But one of my friends, they went to Kumbh Mela, their parents, and they clicked a picture of the main walkthrough. And there was a big billboard of me, the Vim bar, and me just standing with my co-actor, the mom. And I felt so proud. In fact, I made an Instagram video on that कि मेले में लोग बहुत भटकते हैं ना, तो जब भटक जाएंगे सारे फैमिलीज डिसाइड कर देते हैं मेले में नहाने के बाद ये विम एड के होल्डिंग के नीचे आके मिल लेना. सो इट्स क्रेजी दैट इट रीच कुंभ मेला. लाइक 100 करोड़ लोग जाते हैं वहां लिटरली जब भी वो लगता है. इट कम्स इन 100 years and this year my photo was there. So I'm really happy about it.
चीकू रोलिंग.
वेलकम टू फास्ट शेफ. आज हम फास्ट शेफ में बनाएंगे फटाफट पनीर. झट से चॉप करो, फट से पील करो, फटाक से मिक्स करो, फटाफट पनीर तैयार. सुपर फास्ट.
ओए, इस चिपचिपे बर्तन का क्या?
माँ, इस चिपचिप के लिए है ना नया सुपर फास्ट विम. इसमें 100 नींबुओं की शक्ति जो निकाले चिपचिपी चिकनाई सुपर फास्ट.
अब बने ना असली फास्ट शेफ.
And it's something you should be, because like getting picked for an event, like the people they go through so many things, like so many videos to showcase at such huge events, and picking your ad, it's something that you should be proud of. Okay, so coming back to the movies, you have worked on large scale productions like Ram Setu and most recently Shaitan. So how do you get to the acting process when you're shifting from web series, films and commercial ads? Because everywhere your role is different. So how do you get used to it?
So for ads, first it's very quickly done. It's very swiftly done. They just send you the script before the day of the shoot, and you just have to read it and come. And most of the time, and I mean majority of the time, the actual ad script, it's very small, so it's very easy to do ads. But for movies, you have to have time to understand the character. They take script readings. They do meetings with the actors. They also sometimes just bring you to play zones and you play with the fellow actors, to get used to them. And for Shaitan, before I actually got it, there was like a 2-month workshop before I got it. So me and the other boy, Rohan, he was very sweet. So we two, they wanted to see between us two who they wanted to choose. So they did a 2-month workshop and they did everything, like the auditions, different parts of the movie, script reading, try not to laugh challenge because it's a very serious movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, they took a lot of time to, they took it slowly. They took it slowly, I'd say. So that is the difference between ads and movies and web series. Movies and web series are long term, so they take a lot of time to get used to. They take time to get used to the character. Ads is quick, man. They just swift. They happen in a go. Before the blink of an eye, it's done.
When you're doing movies and series, you have to become that person for a fair amount of time. And if it's a series, then it's going to drag, and not drag, but it's going to go on for a long time. And then you have your normal life and you have your acting side of life. So it's like you can practice being that person even in your normal life. I don't know, is that true? Like, can you do that? Or
you can do that. It's optional. If you wanna get really used to the character and you wanna get into it, then you can try that.
Yeah, and I kind of agree. Like, the ads, they get over in a short amount of time. Moving on, you got awarded the Best Supporting Actor at the Filmfare OTT?
No, I got nominated, but I didn't get it. I just got nominated, but that's a good thing.
So what does this kind of recognition mean to you? And also, the category, it has a caliber of talent. So how does it make you feel? Even getting nominated for these kind of awards.
Filmfare is such an organization. Even if you get nominated, it's a really proud moment. Many friends of mine or co-actors or the people I know, basically they were messaging me and they were congratulating me. Actually, it was it was 9:00 in the morning and I just woken up. My mom got a message from one of my friends or one of her friends, and they said, congratulations, Angad has been nominated for Filmfare. She showed me that. I was like, what? Bro, he's not kidding, right? Actually, so I took my phone, I went on the website, I checked, and I was so proud because Filmfare is so big. Shah Rukh Khan has been there. It's so big. It's really something to be proud of. Even to get nominated, nomination होना भी दूर की बात, जीतना भी दूर की बात है. But it's a big thing, and I was the only kid in all of the categories. I was the only kid.
Only kid?
Yes.
Okay, that must have been a different feeling altogether.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's not always about coming first or getting something, but if you have if you even come to if you've come close to getting that, or you've been nominated, like in your case, you do get that kind of encouragement from something like that, and it gives you motivation to keep going ahead and doing what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so your E4M award for best performance by a child actor further cemented your standing in the industry. So how do you take those awards as motivation, validation, or maybe something else entirely?
Getting an award is obviously a huge thing, and whether it's the smallest award or it's the biggest award in the world, it is definitely something to be really proud of, because you have to reach a certain level to even get a certificate. In school, even to get a certificate of participation, I feel proud because at least you're getting something. I saw this reel where they said today's gift certificate of participation, and that guy said, in my time we used to get the steel plate for winning. But really, it's really nice to get to a point where I'm literally going to an award show.
The way you are taking this, not coming ahead or getting that award, but just a certificate of participation, it shows how humble you are. Because some people, they just back down. Like if they've gotten a certificate of participation, or they've come maybe in top 10 or top 50 of something, they just feel so demotivated that they're like, is it worth doing what I'm doing? Like, was it worth taking part in that competition or whatever it was? So yeah, having that mindset helps you, and it has helped you come so far.
Yeah, actually, you said a very good point, because I can add to that. Those people who reach at least in the top 10 and think it's really sad, you should use that motivation that you reach top 10 and now you should reach top 3, and after top 3 reach top 2. Use that motivation to go forward.
Yeah, and failure, or I wouldn't call it failure, maybe I'm using the term failure because it's a very well-known quote that failure is not fatal, but it does help you go ahead. It's like a stepping stone that makes
The
you
most valuable,
success. Yes, and you may have hundreds and thousands of wins, but you do need some failures to make you go, to make you do your best in that field, and that really helps. Moving to your school life, you have such a busy schedule of various shows and series. You just came back from a shooting before we had the chance of meeting. So how do you manage to perform well in studies and take care of personal responsibilities?
My parents play a huge role in this. First of all, we both are in the same school, so we know this school is practically amazing. 1K school. So this school is amazing, though. If you miss out, they have recorded sessions, so you can just go through them again and study. So my parents, whenever I go abroad, like especially for a long time, I had gone to Siliguri and I had gone to shoot Shaitan in London. So we had a separate suitcase where I had my laptop, I had my mouse, my books, my bag, everything I had in that. So obviously in London, because of the time difference, I couldn't attend school. But every day, when I used to get up there about 10 o'clock, I used to get up there. And in Mumbai, it would be 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So in India. So I would just hop on my laptop and I would start studying. And it's all online. That's a great part about it too. So I used to do my Century Tech Nuggets. I used to do my assignments. And my parents and the school's flexibility, they came along and they made it easy for me to study. And my parents helped me in studying, so my marks are great.
And since we both are in the same school and it's online, for both of us being achievers, it does help having that online leverage of accessing stuff. Like you have your books online, you have your assignments online, you have recordings, and recordings, they play an amazing role. Like you miss out on something, you hop on and see them, and if you have any question, you can ask the teachers. So going to our next question, what does excellence mean to you as an actor, and how do you strive to meet that that role in each movie and show that you do?
What excellence means to me is that reaching a certain point of humbleness and popularity. So that is excellence for me, and being humble is a very big part of excellence, obviously. And probably to never let the popularity get to your head, and just keep keep going on, keep going forward. You can never get too successful, right?
According to me, what a successful person should have is them being humble, no matter how popular they are, because some people, they think that once you get popular, you have to, keep yourself away from the world, act different and be different around people. But that's not true. But because if you're humble around people, then it's not only you could get more opportunities in what you're doing, but you would also get people supporting you in what you're doing. So that is really important. And thank you for saying that humbleness is needed for every person. That's some people don't even want to think of that side of excellence.
But it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah. What keeps you motivated when these movies that you do, they have demanding shoots? Like there must have been times when you were maybe not able to do the role properly, so maybe someone was pushing you or telling you to do your best. So did you have any moments of self-doubt, and if you did, how did you manage to get your focus to that time?
I don't currently remember any event that has happened like that, but if it was to happen, I think my parents would support me the most. They're my eternal cheerleaders, and they would support me the most. How they would start off by helping me is they would show me the script. They would read the script themselves and understand the character. They would tell me what I had to correct, and they would understand what I'm doing wrong, and then they will go from that part and they will help. So I think they would really help me achieve the goal. So props to them. Thank you.
The people who we become is mostly because of our parents. Like the support they give, it's like if that was not there, then you would have had downfalls. And speaking of you, like what you said, your parents would help you out, like maybe act out the script or motivate you in some in some way or the other. So I feel that is really important, and we all should be grateful to our parents, because even when they are busy with their own life, they help us out, and that is not easy, like for a parent. My next question is, are there any specific genres, directors or actors that you hope to work with in the future, as you explore the field of acting?
You see, directors and genres are okay, right? Because we're actors, we have to adjust to anything we can. It's basically our bread and butter. It's our job. Actors, I would really like to work with Ajay Devgan sir again, because he's really humble and he's very nice to work with. The popularity has not reached his mind at all. He's not full of himself. He's really humble. Okay. One incident would be that when I was in London shooting for Shaitan, I'm a non-vegetarian and my mother doesn't eat chicken at all or any type of non-veg food. I didn't like the fact that I was eating a chicken right next to her. So Ajay Devgan sir called me. He said, "Aja, chicken kha le." And he had ordered some Lebanese food, so he shared that with me. So nice, I was eating shawarma right there, looking at my mom over there eating roti sabzi. And that was really nice of him.
The bond that you make with the people you're working with is not only on set, but when you're off set as well, and that really helps making you comfortable in the role that you're acting in. So you said that you don't have any specific genre or directors that you hope to work with in the future, but maybe if you're seeing any movie or anything, what genre do you enjoy the most?
I don't like action movies that much, because I think that they're very over. Like the actual heroes, they can stay in the air for 4 minutes without ease, and one thing we have to admit about Bollywood is if you just start randomly dancing on the road, everyone is gonna know the steps. So that is gonna yeah, I know that. So that's gonna be there everywhere. One, it would be fantasy, it would be comedy. That's one thing I like, and just general drama I like. I like movies like Rush Hour. Troy. My father showed me one scene of it where I forgot the names. They're very hard to pronounce. But it was a fight scene, and that is how a fight scene should be done. Not the heroes literally floating in the air for 4 minutes straight.
Sound effects that are there, they are sometimes.
Yeah, they're really. It can get cringe. It can get really cringe. So that's how a fight scene should have done. Ekdam aaram se he was walking and chuk. You see, that's how a scene is supposed to be done. So the genre I would really like to watch is comedy and drama.
It's nice. And with this question, we don't mean to offend anyone's choices. This was just a person to person, wanting to know
Opinion sharing. We're just sharing
opinion sharing. And maybe any directors, someone you're fond of.
My classmate in my class, Kirtana, her father is a director. I just recently did an ad with him. And he's really nice to work with. So maybe I would like to do it with him. And Vikas, who directed Shaitan, I would like to work with him again. He's very calm. And Ye Meri Family Season 2's director, Mandar Kuruntkar, I think. He was superb to work with, man. Amazing guy. His humor is like, crazy.
That's nice. And I'm sure you'll meet many other directors as you continue doing movies and shows. Okay. Your personal life and professional life, you must have set, maybe some goals, like, especially professionally. So, what are there and what do you plan to achieve while evolving as an artist?
So currently I don't have any short-term goals. Means I don't want anything short-term. But long-term would definitely be to enjoy life while you can, because you never know when it can end. So just enjoy every moment.
Yeah, and we only live once, and if we put all of our energy into living once, then we don't need a second time. So
yeah, we won't want a second time.
Yeah, exactly. We are almost coming to the end of the podcast. My question would be to you is that what kind of impact do you hope to create through your work, and maybe even in the future, what kind of impact do you want to create, and how do you envision your influence on young aspiring actors and actresses?
How my work I would like to give the effect on the public would be to make them laugh. Obviously, that's basically what everyone wants. It's our job. And for the people who I would like to inspire was to definitely stay humble in whatever field you're doing. It doesn't matter. You're an engineer, you're a janitor, you are a train driver, you're a bus driver, you're a car enthusiast. I don't care. You be humble. But be kind, have fun in life, be humble, don't cause trouble to others, let others also enjoy. That is what I would like to send out.
There is no point in being angry at people for no reason or like losing your temper. So
that defeats the whole purpose of enjoying life. And just enjoy life. Enjoy.
Yeah, and when you're positive, you can actually get more work done rather than having a negative mind and putting that negativity into what you're doing. Do you have any famous quote that you want to share with the audience before we go?
Never give up. Never give up. It's the best quote. It's the most reasonable. It works in every field. Obviously, it's not targeted to one place. And you know the chant "all is well." It's a never give up is basically like that. It's basically like that.
And Hakuna Matata, which means don't worry.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. Okay. So that was an amazing conversation, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I got so many insights into the field of acting, and I'm sure our listeners did as well. A heartfelt gratitude to you, Ankit, for taking time out despite your busy schedule and sharing your amazing journey with us. You are indeed limitless, and I wish you all the best in the future. To our listeners, if you loved today's episode as much as I did, do remember to subscribe, because we have amazing people coming up, and click on the notification bell to stay tuned.
Thank you so much.
बचपन से ही मुझे वक्त से पहले पहुंचने की आदत थी। बड़े होते होते ये आदत कहीं दब सी गई थी, दबी थी मगर खोई नहीं थी। अब इस आदत को फिर से जगाना है, उसे एम्बिशन में बदलना है और वक्त से पहले अपने करियर गोल्स को पाना है।